want to say a huge shout out to everybody here at Diamond Dust because it definitely started as like a normal regional and really became a lot.
Yeah, it definitely has grown beyond it. Definitely what happened to Patchwork a little bit last year, right, kind of happened here. What happened with the first Cirque as well, right, where these regionals are starting to just really be run well and just draw this top talent out as, you know, some of our majors, right, start to slip away. We get into a new generation, but speaking of slipping away, SHADIC getting slipped all the way off stage, pushed into the corner, Kirisai, and already just taking big damage.
I think a really important thing for jenghi is to stay at exactly that range with those back airs and F tilts. Probably keep Holy Water on the ground and just not get caught in the Corin vortex. Corin is a 50-50 monster, but Richter does outrange Corin, so this is going to be a little bit of a struggle as long as jenghi does not approach. As you can see, approach once, immediately got your disadvantage. But yeah, SHADIC actually has to play a little catch-up right here.
Yeah, one of the things that we've seen SHADIC do here is use these pins to trap landing, and that's one of Corin's greatest strengths normally, but especially in this matchup where that pin also is your best tool to contest jenghi's range. If you can let them swing with those back airs at those angles, and bait it out with the right jump timing, you can find that pin on the landing and really punish them. That time, speaking of punish, though, the only punishment we're going to see is getting cooked by the Holy Fire. jenghi going to ride that momentum into the first stock, but SHADIC is definitely working this one back.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like people don't really bring it up in the conversation that it is very difficult to get off the ledge against Richter, but Corin specifically, like, she's kind of forced to just jump. Like, Corin loves to, like, jump from the ledge or maybe even, like, go for, like, a pin or something of that nature, but, like, Holy Water cuts that out, and as long as jenghi continues to just retreat and throw those, like, bears and F-tilts out, like, it's tough. So, yeah, but despite that, very little damage on SHADIC so far. It's all going to come to how well jenghi can just keep this defense up and just really, really force SHADIC out. You just do not want to get next to that character.
I think one of the hard things for SHADIC as well is that, you know, this with Corin, especially as a character that wants to kind of swing preemptively a lot of the time and hold space. And as you mentioned, with those Holy Fires, but also just the whip in general, it's really good at laning off space. It really, the Belmonts are a character that want to, you know, that really punish you for swinging first and taking that playstyle and just want you to play on reaction. And jenghi has really been exploiting that about SHADIC's play, where he's getting forced to jump to find these swings, just like with that Nair, and jenghi's just able to cover him on reaction because you can't swing preemptively against the Belmonts.
Yeah, and again, this ledge pressure is so rough. SHADIC finds a way out, but it was literally only jumping. And that was getting covered by Axe, was getting covered by Holy Water. And, oh, jenghi just, excuse me, barely missing that down smash, but SHADIC is fully on notice here, just getting tagged by every projectile in the book. jenghi's playing incredibly well, and as I always say, you know, you get a tournament this big, there are bound to be upsets. I'm not going to put that on in the air just yet, but jenghi's in a really good spot.
Yeah, and you know, there's some interesting, I think, lore here between why SHADIC might be starting off slower here, but we'll save that one for after the game, as SHADIC has a potential opportunity to answer back, having Belmont in the corners where you want them to be, but that DP not going to find the stock, but going to do a whole lot of work anyways, pushing SHADIC to the corner. However, it's going to be his turn now to find an opening, and he's able to maintain center stage, though, and not lose too much ground. So best case scenario for him, he worked jenghi up to kill percent, held onto his stock, and now finds the lead.
So let me tell you exactly where this started to go wrong. jenghi was at a position at about 40%. SHADIC is at like 130, 140 at the ledge. Went for a lot of kill confirms, but just kept missing them. And then the desperation just creeped in over and over. You started seeing jenghi hold forward. jenghi's still kind of holding forward. And now SHADIC has taken all his momentum and nearly the game at 41%.
Yeah, he's just trying to catch you slipping on the DI, right? That up special is so awkward to DI. Send you at some really janky little angles. And so SHADIC just trying to keep at you slipping by the top blast zone. We see it work all the time, but not against jenghi. However, that's a lot of damage going to get racked on him off that platform continuation. SHADIC taking you off the coast to coast. Gonna lose the stock, though, and now going down to his last one. He has the percent lead. He has the iframe and the pin. I mean, he didn't even need the time for me to give you a handoff, man. He's like, I don't need to hand this back to neutral. We can just go to game 2.
And this is something that is a little bit unfortunate when you're playing a player of this caliber. Like, obviously they're really good, but there's something that happens psychologically. Wow, I had the lead. I'm actually doing this. Should I be doing this? And people start to like doubt themselves and get frustrated or get antsy. Meanwhile, the top players, as we're about to get into it, if it isn't already common knowledge, basically a lot of top players will spend the first like minute and a half, 2 minutes just figuring out how to not get hit later. Like, okay, this is what you like to go for. This is what you press in disadvantage. This is what you want to press me on. And then they just kind of formulate their game plan around that and then just start to like snowball.
It definitely felt like SHADIC, part of that early lead was SHADIC just downloading information, but also lulling jenghi into a false sense of security. Right?
And me.
Let him get comfortable, or let jenghi get comfortable, and then once they do, break them down, because you play Belmonts, right? You have a very strong advantage state, but once you lose neutral, that's all she wrote. SHADIC betting that Jenghi's confidence is the same way, and we'll see how it pays off here in the rest of the set.
Yeah, so I think it's just going to come down to, can you keep your composure? Because once again, we're off to like a little bit of an early lead here. And yeah, Corin just sucked at the ledge. As I said, Corin kind of has to jump off stage, but that was a really, really well-placed pin from SHADIC. It's just going to really come down to also how Jenghi deals with being out of shield too. So like those up Bs out of shield are really good for now, but of course you can't get too comfortable with them because it is risky. But yeah, Jenghi's still playing this really solid.
I really like the way Jenghi is trying to hold platform, but didn't hold the edge and instead tried to hold the center. That gave SHADIC just enough space to swing with Corin and give himself an opportunity to land and reset on the platform, which allowed him to continue that combo extension. So Jenghi trying to hold the optimal positioning spacing-wise, but in doing so, gave up a lot of defensive potential. And I'm sorry,
you know what I like about that? Jenghi's like, I've tried 9 different ways to kill you at the ledge. Here's the 10th. I don't know, dare into the fire. That was sick, though. Like, Jenghi's pressure in the corner has been really, really good. SHADIC fired back so quickly, though. Literally just came from the Angel platform and said, I'm going to do about 72% because you just kind of, like, flexed on me a little bit, and I'm not down for that. I'm not here for that.
People don't talk about Corin. I feel like I hear about this character's hitboxes, its kill potential so much, but the character's raw damage output, like, you just see SHADIC and Neo, right, also here at this event as well, who just rack up these damage off these Nair extensions. Their spacing optimizations on some of these combos are so good that seeing this character get 100% off a neutral interaction is just commonplace these days.
It is. And Jenghi's not too far out of this, though. Low-key, I believe. I mean, one axe, you know, one cross into to an up B. There's a lot of things where you can really make things go wrong for Corin. I don't think the up B would have killed right there, so of course, Jenghi not going to put themselves in any danger. But yeah, not too far out of this just yet.
And finding the Holy Fire again. I thought we were going to either see an up smash, maybe a footstool or something to get cheeky. Not going to. Instead, just trying to swing and reset neutral. SHADIC saying, no, you don't. Finding the F smash, closing it on out. So now moving into potentially Jenghi's last stock winner's side here. This is being still a wave A winner's side qualifier. So a lot on the line. Not your bracket life, but potentially, you know, making a top cut winner's side. Jenghi looking to maybe stage a huge upset here and has had some potential, but that might be running out of room to make it happen.
Yeah, just might be. I think what's really been one of the big difference makers here is like Jenghi's had a lot of opportunities, but it's just been like a hair shy on the confirms. That is not SHADIC's game. SHADIC's confirms are so locked down. I mean, SHADIC has been a top Corin since really the inception of Smash Ultimate. Like, just been good the whole time, and now Jenghi, one stock left, 95%, things looking kind of dire, but yeah, SHADIC is very good at like bringing those leads back, because again, Jenghi started off strong both of these games, but now we're just a single decision away from disaster. Up B not going to be enough from center stage either.
I love using that cross there, doing it just so it doesn't quite go past ledge, but it forces defensive pressure and forces you to play defensively. He also blocking the charge shot as well from SHADIC. Unfortunately, Jenghi a little bit short there.
Are we doing our best of 5?
Here in best of 5.
Oh, nice.
This is a best of 5, as you had asked. Production, coincidentally. So, SHADIC 1 game away. Jenghi not out of the woods. Or Jenghi, sorry, still has a chance to make this happen. SHADIC not out of the woods yet. But the odds are looking a lot longer after that one.
Yeah, but this is also one of those things where it's like, you're down, but you're still playing really well. Because honestly, these stocks could have been taken much sooner had just like the right confirm worked out around like 110, 120. Because this is 2 games in a row where SHADIC has lived to like almost 200%. But I don't think Jenghi's game plan needs to change that drastically. Like there's just small mistakes that can like switch the tide in your favor.
Yeah, there's been a couple times especially where Jenghi will start to lose an overt lead and then stop playing that defensive spacing game that we've been talking
That's
so well
what
about.
it is, yeah.
Right? And just will go for that one swing too close. And every time it happens, SHADIC has found a stock off of it.
I'm going to be so real. I do not think there's a position in neutral where Richter is jumping forward towards Corin on the ground where you're not going to like get punished for it.
And even when you're trying to swing to get them off of you, when you're too close, right, the Belmonts don't have a great answer besides that up special as we see there. And so if you can't use up special position-wise, you just need to find any way to get out of dodge, because otherwise a character like Corin is going to push you off stage, and when the Belmonts are off stage, well, you might as well call him Little Mac.
Yeah, honestly, it's just about the same. And we saw those checkmate scenarios earlier, too, because, like, SHADIC would run out and just, like, put this back air out. And even if you air dodge it, you can't make it back to the stage, you know? So it's definitely tough. This match starting off a little stronger for SHADIC. I like using the Holy Water as a way to get back to the ledge instead of, like, using it as a ledge trap the opposite way. Ooh, great jump from SHADIC right there, too. A Rage F smash definitely would have tacked on a lot of damage. But yeah, this exact position, that's where jenghi needs to be. Out of pin range, out of F smash range, and just like fighting with like low committal moves.
Finally, we saw somebody do it in bracket. That is the counterplay to Corin F smash on your shield. You shield SDI, right? 2 triggers on shield, and then SDI like normal. We don't see people do it, but jenghi implemented it there, and it not only allowed them to get out of dodge, but find the stock to boot, doing it again here, and going to once again get out of disadvantage. We don't see players implement that nearly enough, and good stuff to them for doing so. It's giving them a huge advantage state and yet another potential lead here early in game 3.
Yeah, and she's really proven herself well. Like I'm looking at her results. She's got a couple of local wins here and there. You know, like 5th out of 45, or 17th out of like 50 or so. So like definitely someone that like consistently go like 3-2, 4-2, or even like win the weekly entirely. Like I think she's playing really well. It's just going to come down to that mental game. But either way, now we're back on square footing. I love the way that jenghi is just fully just removing any landing aerial from Corin. Like that up B, they haven't all worked, but honestly, like most of them will work, and it really just forces SHADIC to just figure out how he wants to enter. Because like on the ground, he has to deal with F tilt, he has to deal with cross and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I'll come in with like these neutral airs. But that up B stops that too. So SHADIC is just taking all this chip damage, just trying to get a neutral win instead of just taking 50s.
That being said, I think he's pretty okay if that's what he's taking, because up special doesn't lead too much. So while it does put you in an awkward position sometimes, the fact that it also puts Belmont in special hold generally means that jenghi is resetting to neutral and maybe taking a little bit of position. Where if you're going to have to lose, it's too much. At this point, I can't even pop off for it. Fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. At this point, SHADIC's got no excuses. Jenghi is just cooking.
Jenghi's actually cooking right now. And I'm going to be so real, like, I love that jenghi doesn't necessarily want to do the down air, but it's only like after a down smash or something like that is missed. But again, those checkmate scenarios, Richter and Simon recovery, very, very lackluster. And by SHADIC putting himself in that position, it's like, okay, if you fair me, you die for it. So, I'm going to force you to burn your air dodge. I'm going to force you to have to make a weird recovery. And it's very easy for Corin to capitalize.
Yeah, I love the way that SHADIC there as well, like calling out the air dodge to continue that advantage state. Still not able to find too much though. So jenghi with a potential advantage here, however, is going to lose the neutral off the empty top delayed nair. There, SHADIC now once again utilizing these platforms defensively, forcing jenghi to start to swing at him from a little bit too far back, able to find some of these extensions, but also give himself more approach angles because he's mixing up staying grounded and jumping to this platform, forcing jenghi to cover both.
Yes, and now jenghi, of course, just one hit away, but not far out of this game. jenghi just has to stay grounded and try to find something to confirm, maybe a cross or like really any of these projectiles. Spell Disaster. Axe, of course, is a huge problem for Corin too, because she loves hanging out at the exact arcs that Axe covers. So jenghi risking it all on the up B, but getting the sour spot hit of the up smash. She's still going to live here, but this is literally neck and neck. I would love to see jenghi take a game off a player of this caliber.
Yeah, I don't want this set to end, because jenghi has been putting on a show for us here in Michigan. But Sai, all good things must come to an end sooner or later. Hopefully it can be in 5 games, but SHADIC is gonna say no thank you, locking it down with a 3-0, staving off jenghi, who,